Should I tell my wife that I am not sexually attracted to her because of her weight? I'm posting this for my cousin. He doesn't use social media and is afraid his wife will find out if he creates an account in Reddit. He says, "My wife, 34F, has never been small or thin, but she has always been physically fit. We have 2 younger children, 4 years and 2 years, and she has gained a considerable amount of weight to the point of obesity. She's not dangerously obese, but I know that no amount of obesity is healthy either. She is determined to have a 3rd child, but she lost her job due to COVID-19, so we have decided to wait due to finances. She says she is not concerned about losing weight because she will just get pregnant again once she finds another job. We used to have an active sex life, but now we rarely have sex. I love my wife, but I am not usually in the mood to have sex because I am not attracted to her. Lately, she has been accusing me of having an affair because I am not showing an interest in sex. She cries and accuses me of wanting to leave. I am not having an affair and I am not leaving my wife. Would it help if I told her the truth, or would it just make things worse?" He is 35M. They have been married 6 years. They dated for about 3 years before getting married. They live in the United States. If it's at the point where she's accusing him of having an affair, I'm not sure how much worse he thinks it could get. He needs to tell her before their marriage breaks down entirely. It's not an easy conversation to have, but she can't work on fixing it if she doesn't even know it's an issue for him. He absolutely has to tell her something. Finding a gentle way to say it is another thing. Honesty isn't always nice, but it is clearly an issue, and if he doesn't address it, the tears and accusations will continue. I also understand where she is coming from. As a mama of 2 myself, will she have to lose weight again? Yes, absolutely, but as long as she is having regular visits with her drive, it is possible to lose weight while pregnant if one is quite heavy. Explore the options with her. Make the decision together, and go from there. Yeah, it's not healthy to go into the pregnancy too heavy. As someone who almost died for preeclampsia, she needs to lessen her risk of high blood pressure. I was this woman, obese-wise, and my husband told me that I was unhealthy and bordering on unattractive. Did it hurt? Of course. Before the truth can set you free, it will piss you off. I was extremely unhealthy, and with my husband's support and my doctor's guidance, I've lost weight. My life is the better for it now. Not to mention our sex life. Sometimes being harsh is the push a person needs. Yes, communication is key. In my experience, the relationships that work on the long run are the ones based on friendship first. If your friends can't tell you the truth in your face, who will? Strangers. We all grow old and become less attractive. That's life. Love changes through the years being together. What does matter is how you communicate your problem with her being overweight. Being honest means that you want to solve this issue because you want your relationship to work. In good and bad times, right? Again, think about how you should communicate the issue. But yes, please be honest. No doctor would agree that it's okay or safe for an obese woman to be pregnant. Even while pregnant, a woman should not be getting into the obese BMI. It increases the risk for so many issues and makes everything about the process more difficult and dangerous. I would not make it about lack of attraction, but focus on health. Have her talk to a doctor, and any doctor with any sense will recommend losing weight before getting pregnant again, and she should see a nutritionist to not gain that weight again when pregnant the 3rd time. Okay, so my cousin is a divorce lawyer, and we're both females in our 40s. Most of her clients have ended up being men for some reason. Last time we hung out, we were chit-chatting about her job, and she told me that the #1 reason why her men clients decided to leave their wives is because they became obese after marriage and They were no longer physically attracted to them. These same women get super defensive about their weight. And when the husbands tried to talk to them about it, they wouldn't listen and just start getting hateful and accusatory. So the men would end up leaving them and getting non-obese girlfriends that they were attracted to. My cousin would always tell them to not mention anything about the new girlfriend until the divorce was final, because these obese women felt especially jealous and insecure at the healthy weight girlfriend, and they'd go on a revenge rampage, like preventing the kids from seeing their dad, etc. It became a massive shit show. My cousin wasn't hating on obese women, she doesn't give a shit about their appearance. She just told me because it became too much of a pattern in her practice to ignore. It was like the obesity is more representative of some kind of pattern of self-loathing that they would then take out on their loved ones. But I'm no shrink, so I won't go any further. My assessment is yes, your cousin absolutely needs to talk to his wife about it. I think it's dishonest of him not to say something to the person who is his life partner. He needs to be prepared that she could potentially unleash her inner loathing out on him as a result. I would venture to think that she's already suspicious that he doesn't find her attractive in her current appearance. That's why she's accusing him of having an affair instead of facing the fact that she's gained a ton of weight. Hopefully they'll be able to get some kind of counseling, and maybe he can support and encourage her in her future weight loss journey. I have a lot of empathy for him. I think if my husband gained a massive amount of weight, I wouldn't be as attracted to him either. We both discussed this in the past, and it's the same for him. That's why we both watch our weight together. Does anyone know how to remove a stuck schlong from a toaster? Asking for a friend. Having a baby while obese increases the chances of complications. He needs to talk to her about this, but approach it by expressing his concerns about her health. Focus on that and not the fact that he's not physically attracted to her anymore. Obesity also raises complications with pregnancy, and she should talk to a doctor about health risks. But yes, in a gentle way, this all needs to be addressed, or the relationship will only get worse. Losing weight is very difficult for a lot of people, so there's not much point in pressuring her to lose it. She undoubtedly already feels the pressure. The behaviors to remain as healthy as possible include eating healthily, which includes avoiding strict diets. And it's got to be something you're happy maintaining for your entire life. And getting exercise. This might result in weight loss, but that's not something you should count on. My cousin gives her 2 hours per day where he exclusively keeps the kids so they cannot bother her. And he encouraged her to get in the habit of exercising. But she says she will do whatever she wants with her time and wants to use the time for other things. In other words, she's working 14 hours per day. If he wants her to spend more time on exercise, he needs to make it something in addition to her kid-free time. And he needs to ensure she has plenty of time to cool down after. That means finding a sitter or bringing the kids along. Canoeing might work. Biking, since you can put the kids in bike trailers or the like. And she gets the first crack at showering and resting when they get home. So he needs to tell her. Obviously, this is causing her distress. It's going to hurt, but it needs to be said. Additionally, he needs to evaluate what has led to the weight gain in the first place. Pregnancy and small children are great for packing on pounds. Did she used to work out all the time? And now she just doesn't have the time and energy because she's got 2 small kids? Is she depressed? Changes in eating habits. I think if he just goes to her with he's not attracted to her weight gain without any suggestions on how he can support her in losing the weight again, it's not going to go over well at all. Speaking from experience, I can say this. I was in an emotionally abusive marriage for over a decade, and had a health condition that affected my mood as well as my physical appearance. My former husband used to shame me as the condition worsened and affected the way I looked, telling me he wasn't attracted to me. It was devastating because he would tell me this was in the first 1 or 2 years of our marriage. I was never tiny or anything but was maybe 20 pounds overweight when we married, and he didn't complain. Because of the way he shamed my body image, my self-esteem and confidence plummeted, and it only caused me to become less motivated to do anything, thus gaining weight. When I first became pregnant with our first child, it wasn't until 6 months into the pregnancy he told me that he also wasn't as sexually attracted to me because of my weight, on top of the other problems causing him to not feel attracted to me. It wasn't like I could get up and run a marathon being 6 months pregnant, so the timing was awful. Also, the hormones from the pregnancy messed with my body, and basically I felt like an ugly blob. I would watch him have fun with colleagues and casually flirt with women and say kind and affirming things to them, and it would just make me more jealous, but mostly self-loathing. I became depressed on top of whatever postpartum depression I probably also had. When I was at my heaviest, and pregnant with our third child, he began developing an emotional connection with a woman who was not only my best friend but was his best friend's wife. They ended up having an emotional affair, which devastated both marriages when it finally hit the fan. The other couple survived it, thankfully. My husband told me that it was because I was not attractive to him and I didn't do all the wifely things around the house that his friend's wife would do. He said he wished that I was more like her. He almost tried to get out of even apologizing for what he did, and really only apologized to my friend's husband. After we separated, it only took a year or two and I took control of my health, started a health cleanse, and lost over 70 pounds in less than a year. I was able to keep it off for almost 4 years. All because I saw beauty in myself and I was confident in who I was and I loved myself, and was no longer feeling ashamed or inadequate due to the debilitating words and emotional abuse of my ex-husband. Fast forward, I have a new partner now who has loved me through everything I've been going through the past 3 years or so. I was still slender when we began dating and have gained some of that lost weight back. The past couple years have been very trying and our family has been going through a lot. I've had a few low moments, and I'll give you 3 guesses as to who was the source of my grief. My new partner has always loved and friended me as a person, as a woman, as a sexual partner, and as someone he's crazy about. The way I have been treated in this relationship is not even in the same galaxy as to be compared with the garbage of my first marriage. I am not excited about the way my body has changed and I really do want to get healthier. But he's always had gentle ways of mentioning things. He says he wants us to both be healthy and that we should get out and do active things together. We've been trying to do that, but he's been very supportive and above all has been performing with his words and actions. He looks at me with eyes that tell me that he's there no matter. And even though I know he would prefer me to be in better shape, he is very accepting and loving and has somehow found ways to remain attracted. This is nothing like the awful anxiety and uncertainty I felt every time I would feel, even when I would be getting dressed in front of my former husband. I guess what I'm saying is, my ex-husband was unhappy with my body and I knew that, but he never said anything reassuring, even if he had to lie just a little bit, to make me feel that I was still loved and accepted in his eyes. Despite the fact we both knew I could be healthier, I was never enough for him. And this was not just physical either. Whatever he would bring up, me losing weight or something, it was always a problem for him that I caused and only I could fix, and how negatively it impacted his life. He had no care for me or my feelings or the struggles that many of us have trying to be motivated to be healthy and feel like it's even something that is possible. I've lived in both worlds, being overweight and mistreated in a relationship, versus slender and confident as a single person. Ha, my ex-husband actually complimented me on my looks eventually. Wouldn't you have it? Versus slender entering a relationship versus being loved properly up to and after gaining weight again. It's a night and day difference the way I feel about my body today versus 10 years ago being married to a selfish man. IMHO. If your cousin loves his wife and does not want to leave, then I would definitely encourage him to find ways to fall in love with her again. Find the beautiful person that she is now, and tread lightly on the conversation but still trying to be upfront about it. If she is good at pleasing him sexually and he is good with her, they can focus more on the love they feel for each other when they are doing intimate things. She is still sexy even if she is large. If she loves him well physically, maybe help him to remember that some porn websites actually are dedicated to voluptuous women and some men actually get off on that. It's all in how you reframe it. It doesn't mean he should not be bothered by her weight or the fact she is unhealthy and that he shouldn't address the issue. But if you water the flower with kindness, it will flourish. And she will want to lose weight because she will want to feel better and be healthy, not so she can be enough for her husband. TL Doctor. First partner shamed my body image, killing my self-esteem, confidence, resulting in the opposite of feeling loved or beautiful, unmotivated to do anything, thus gaining more weight. New partner showers me with love and affirmation, gently mentioning that he wants to see me healthy, but makes a point to tell me I'm beautiful and only has eyes for me. And he genuinely finds me attractive, sexy no matter where I'm at in the process. I know I can lose weight and I've done so before. I feel even better about my body now even though I'm not in the best condition. But a lot of that is because I'm definitely a words of affirmation person. And it's proven that everyone thrives on positive affirmations. Fill a woman's heart with love and she will as a byproduct begin to love herself, which is the root source of the solution. Your cousin is allowed to be bothered by his wife's being overweight and worry for her health. Thus, yes, he should address the issue. But he needs to both go easy on her and also work hard to creatively find ways to be attracted to his wife, and build up her confidence until she will want to feel better and get healthy without the goal of being enough. Is he fit himself? Perhaps they could get healthy together. It couldn't hurt either of them to get fitter for a new baby and their young kids. Being fit for pregnancy and labor is really important. It's an athletic feat, besides for reducing the risk of complications that could pose risks to the baby. It helps have an easier pregnancy. Pregnancy doesn't automatically mean that someone will gain weight unhealthily. Obviously, there is weight gain associated with having a child, but if you stay fit throughout and eat well, most of it can drop off naturally by about 3 months postpartum. Also, I know that obviously this isn't the case for every woman with every pregnancy, but since she has been in shape in the past, she will likely have a better pregnancy if she is again. Edit. Please don't say it as bluntly as it's presented in the title of the post. I would say something along the lines of her weight and the worry you have surrounding it is making it challenging for you to feel the way you have in the past about your joint sex life. Also, that the reason you're telling her is because the relationship is so important to you and you've always committed to honesty with her. Say that you know that it may be hard to hear and you're happy to let her be alone for a bit afterwards or just sit together in it. It's up to her because it's her body and you may have to figure out a different way towards sexual compatibility if she absolutely refuses to lose weight. Just be prepared for that and that it's a conversation, not a dictation. Best of luck.
Yes. Communicate with your wife.
You don't have to be fit to have a baby. What most people consider obese is not really medical obesity. Being overweight is not always a death sentence. Your cousin should read up on this stuff. https www.medicinenet.com/being-overweight doesn't mean you're unhealthy/fuse.htm. Now to your question. No, he shouldn't tell her. She doesn't owe him a sexy body. If she was in an accident or became unable to have sex because she was sick, would he leave her then? 2. Does he love her for her body or because of who she is? He should work on overcoming his fat phobia. https www.bloodandmilk.com/new-partner-overweight-how-do-I-combat-fat phobia/ I don't think you put any real feeling or thought when you spoke your vows to her at your wedding. You want to hurt your wife by telling her she's sexually unattractive for gaining weight? As you grow older together, you know neither one of you will look as you did when you got together. If she suspects you are having an affair, you might want to honestly address that topic alone, and not your weight preferences for her. Because there's always a much bigger problem when your partner questions the trust in a relationship. Why is she questioning your integrity? What's going on in the relationship? Do you want to be in a relationship with her? What's wrong with you two? How much weight are we talking here? I think that's important to know because, like others said, when you love someone, the extra weight doesn't usually matter. I've gone up and down, usually after pregnancy, and my husband has been 40 pounds heavier than he is now and also much lower. And I never didn't want to sleep with him or vice versa. I honestly didn't even really notice how big he was till he had lost it and I saw old pics. Unless the wife has gained like 70+ pounds, I am a little suspicious and disappointed that her husband would not want to have physical intimacy. Is her body really the only thing he liked? She didn't have little tricks he enjoyed? He doesn't crave the closeness it brings or the pleasure. That said, like others commented, at this point he might as well tell her. She's clearly hurting and noticing, and the truth is better than what she thinks.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.